I'm at the Rolling Huts in Mazama, Washington, just outside the North Cascades National Park and home to some of the most incredible architecture that you can actually afford to stay in. I spent my time and money to see if staying in something designed by the Starchitects Olson Kundig is worth it. These huts are a response to inflexible zoning laws, the constraints of compact living, and the beauty that surrounds them, including one of the country's most underrated national parks and charming small towns that just might change your mind about how these tiny huts with wheels could make for the perfect getaway. This used to be an RV park, and that's why these are the Rolling Huts. The local planning authorities wouldn't allow anything but an RV park here. They wouldn't allow huts or other permanent structures. So that's why there's wheels on these buildings. Technically they can move, so just think of this place as the world's fanciest RV park. These buildings were designed by Olson Kundig, my all-time favorite architects. They're based in Seattle and kind of redefined Pacific Northwest modernist architecture with their signature glass, steel, and plywood approach to so many buildings. And I have yet to be in an Olson Kundig building that I didn't love. Before we do the full tour, let's check out Winthrop, that's 10 minutes away, then Mazama, that's just 5 minutes down the road. You know, I bet when you think about the Old West that you don't think about Washington State. But Winthrop is this old mining town that's surrounded by desert and by mountains and still feels like the Old West. And what I like most about Winthrop is it's retained so much of its original character. You know, I wouldn't come to Winthrop if you're looking for a fine dining scene, but it's a big enough town that there's a lot of variety when it comes to restaurants. It's also a lot of shops and boutiques. Some of them kind of kitschy, but some of them with some real soul. So the Chilliwack and Methow rivers meet in Winthrop, and this is a great base for whitewater rafting, tubing, and kayaking. The Rolling Huts are officially in Mazama, a tiny town that seems to be defined by its general store, that's at the center of just about everything here. A great place to grab a coffee or pastries in the morning, or a sandwich for lunch. And while Winthrop has its share of tourists, Mazama visitors tend to be outdoor enthusiasts. Hikers, mountain bikers, and river rafters. There's also this brewery down the street from the general store that's popular with the adventure crowd after a long day out, when a cold beer tastes pretty good. These huts are tiny for sure, but they feel surprisingly open. That's what good design is all about. But I have to warn you, these huts are not fancy. So what you'll find in almost every Olson Kundig building is a use of Corten steel. This stuff rusts on the outside, but it protects the inside of the metal. And there's so much texture and color to this, I think it's really great. They also love to use steel I-beams and plywood, and all of these are simple materials, right? And I don't understand how you can put these simple materials together and make it so beautiful, but somehow they have, and I think this really works well. There's no AC here, and it gets pretty hot here in the summer, but it does cool down nicely at night, and in the winter, there's a really cozy fireplace. There's no shower in the hut, but you only have to walk 50 feet to a very clean shower area. There is a composting toilet in the hut. This is glamping after all, but it's really not that bad. And along with the minimal energy use and small footprint, they get a 10 out of 10 for sustainability. But I do wish they had a charger here. Electric car owners are going to find that it's hard to charge in this part of Washington. There's a fridge, coffee maker, kettle, and microwave. This place actually sleeps 2 in this back room, and you can distract your kids by challenging them to put this bed together. So yes, these places are small, there's no AC, there's no shower, but you know what? I just don't care. Because the architecture here is so good, and the setting is so beautiful. There are 6 rolling huts, plus this pizza restaurant on site if you don't feel like driving anywhere. Just a heads up that I pay for all my hotel stays to keep my advice honest and unbiased. Your subscription helps. Thanks. Okay, buckle up because this next part is intense. If you're on an even tighter budget, then there are tents here that you can rent down by the river. In terms of activities, come here if you love the outdoors and love to be active. In the wintertime, folks come here for cross-country skiing. This is also a great spot for mountain biking with tons of trails in the area. We came here to hike, and we use this place as a base to explore the North Cascades National Park. It's at least a 30 or 45 minute drive to hike in the North Cascades National Park, but if you want to stay more local, there are great hikes right in this area. We hiked to Goat Peak Mountain. We hiked to Goat Peak Mountain. That's still an active U.S. Forest Service fire lookout tower. I think everyone should stay in an Olson Kundig design building at some point. It's always something special. And I can't think of anywhere that you can do it more affordably than here, proving one of my favorite points, that a hotel, or in this case, a hut, doesn't have to be expensive to be great. Yeah, so I get it, the rolling huts are not for everybody, but I loved it. Love the architecture, the setting, all the activities around here, and I want to come back again. Next time, maybe in the winter. Next, I'm headed back to Seattle, to Treehouse Point, luxury tree houses in the woods. Check it out here. Thanks for watching and see us in the next video. You know, I thought these pillows were gonna suck, but I'm gonna give them an 8.